Dr. Carolyn, she has a Ph.D MBA. She's an award-winning author, international speaker. You can come up if you want. Executive leader and humanitarian whose work inspires transformation and resilience. She is the founder of the F.I.E.R.C.E Foundation, a platform dedicated to empowering women to overcome challenges and achieve personal and professional success. She is also the author of F.I.E.R.C.E. Is it F.I.E.R.C.E or F.I.E.R.C.E? F.I.E.R.C.E Transform Your Life in the Face of Adversity, 5 minutes at a time, a co-author of Academic and Educational Entrepreneurship, works that have impacted thousands globally. As a UN Delegate for the Commission of the States of Women, Carolyn has championed overcoming adversity and bridging divides through communication and leadership. Carolyn's F.I.E.R.C.E framework equips individuals and organizations to tackle adversity with courage and clarity, turning challenges and opportunities for growth. With almost 2 decades of experience in healthcare, leadership, and executive coaching, Carolyn's work has touched lives around the world. Her impact is seen not only in her leadership initiatives, but also in her ability to spark transformation, inspiring others to thrive against all odds. Thank you for being here. Let's welcome her.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. I know you had many other places you could be, and I want to honor you for being right here for you, and showing up for others. Now, this morning, I want to share with you a story of a traveler. Now, this traveler came to this beautiful land and discovered that not only did this beautiful land have amazing suns and beaches, it also had hurricanes. And as that traveler left, hopped on that commute to get out before that hurricane hit, they thought, this land's going to be decimated, especially those beautiful palm trees. They thought, you know what? Those palm trees aren't going to be here next year. And when they came back, the next year, surprisingly, after that Cat 4 hurricane hit, they saw on those beautiful beaches, the palm trees happened to pop right on back and actually look stronger, more vibrant. Confused, the traveler approached a local elder woman, yes, that was intentional, and said, I thought this land would be decimated. And the elder woman said, no, actually. Each storm that comes, what happens is that these palm trees, they loosen the sand with their roots, and then they dig even deeper in order to grab ground, a stronger foundation. And then what happens is in that palm pops right back up with the light and becomes even stronger, even more grounded in its foundation. Now, in life, either we're in a storm, we just got out of one, or we're heading right into one. Life doesn't get easier. We just learn how to manage better. Now, for me, my storms began at a very young age. At age 4, my storms began. And what's interesting is that my life seems to be defined, and you might resonate, by a series of storms. And I want to share with you that a few of my storms that began at age 4. At age 4, my storms began when my 17-year-old neighbor boy stole my innocence from me. In that moment, my definition of the world and how I was in it changed. My storms continued. Growing up with a father who was like a ship's captain out at sea, continuously out seeking treasure to be able to keep the lights on and food on the table. Most of my upbringing, he wasn't at home. We didn't necessarily live together because he was out working on the road. I don't know how many people are familiar with the railroad. Yeah, don't see him. But on top of that, he lived further away as well, just following the work. My mother struggled with mental health. Now, she self-medicated by overspending, hoarding, and overeating. Now, my mom, she tried real hard. And she was a kind soul. And if you ask, that saying, someone who's got nothing, they'll give you the shirt off their back, that was my mom. And although she struggled, she was very kind. And she sought to help people. And although she tried to self-medicate with hoarding, if you think about a 9-year-old me, this big, even bigger hair. And there I am, 9 years old, with my bedroom to my bathroom. And as I walk through, there's just a path up to my armpits of hoards. And as you're walking from the bedroom to the bathroom, you might smell cat urine, maybe Raid spray, maybe a scattering of a mouse. And this was the environment that I grew up in. Now, my mother, who would see people who were down on their luck, would invite them into our home for a warm meal and a warm place to stay. And some people were so very grateful for her kindness. And some people sought to abuse that. And I would teach my little sister, who was 9 years younger than me, how to hide in the hoards, to protect her from the people who saw us and my human vessel as an opportunity. Now, what I'm describing to you in this environment that I grew up in is something that you may be familiar with: ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. Now, a study from Kaiser Permanente and the CDC came out with this study. And the study shares that between a scale of 1 to 10, we all have different adversities that we've experienced through our lives, the majority. And there's actually a connection. So when you think about adverse childhood experiences before the age of 18, maybe it's divorce, maybe it's addiction in the household, maybe it's inconsistency as far as having a parent present or not. Perhaps it is abuse, physical, verbal. As we think about those things and how they affect our health. Now, with an ACE score of 1, about 61% of us have at least one. Now, when we get into about 4, a score of at least 4, what happens is that we tend to, and it's been founded, that we tend to end up having more chronic illness and more adverse health experiences. And with a health score of 6, we can take, it's said, about 20 years off of our life expectancy. Now, when we think about these different storms that we experience, I recall navigating and discovering this. And I thought, what in the world? I should be dead. But I'm standing right here in front of you. And I discovered something I want to share with you. Now, I didn't know what I was doing when I was doing it. But reflecting back, I figured it out. Growing up in an environment like that, as you can imagine, was difficult. Now, mind you, it was not always bad. You know the saying, when it's good, it's real good. And when it's bad, it's real bad. We had bright, sunny days. We laughed. We had tickle fights. My mom had this amazing way to go, and we'd go on little trips, and we'd explore towns and explore people and get to know and ask questions. And then when it was bad, it was really bad. And my sister and I learned how to be emotional meteorologists. We would be able to figure out when we saw a storm coming, and became hyper vigilant. Now, we'd be able to be like, okay, that's a Cat 5. Are you in or am I in? And we could reduce it down to maybe a Cat 1 and take the punishment. Now, at about 16, I don't know if you remember, maybe your, first crush. I had my first boyfriend. Now, perhaps it was unfair, but I gave him it was a whole lot of pressure and a whole lot of expectation. I was hoping that he would just take me away. Calgon. Take me away. And as we know how it works, generally and highly statistically, it doesn't last. But for me, in my emotional maturity, I woke up in the middle of an emergency room, surrounded by providers who were seeking to pump the 25 sleeping pills I took in which to numb the pain. I had seen the storms, and I didn't know if I really wanted to deal with it anymore. Now, as you can see, I was unsuccessful. And when I returned home to my little sister, there she was, fists angry, screaming at me, "How dare you?" And in that moment, I realized that I was a light for someone else. I didn't realize, even though my light was real dim, I did not realize that no matter how dim my light felt, it was still a light to someone else I didn't even realize. And I promised her I would never give up again. That didn't mean I didn't stop running. I ran right in the arms of a man that reflected my self-love. I became pregnant and married. Now, my spouse, he loved me so much that he would watch my food intake so I would stay nice and thin for him. He loved me so much that he would monitor my food intake, or he would watch my time. 5 minutes. He would watch exactly where I was, and if I were to deviate his estimation of the time it took me to get from the grocery store to home, he would require an inspection. And upon successfully passing that inspection, he would reward me with his passion, because being married is consent. Now, this is what I understood love to be, until my daughter was born. And there I was, a young teen mom. Had no idea what I was doing. And she was colic. Anybody know what that is? No, the doctors don't either. It's called good luck. And she screamed for 2 months. And at about 2 months, I recall very vividly, about 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm rocking my little girl that had not stopped screaming, and at the same time trying to block out the screaming from my spouse who was educating me on what a good wife should be. I prayed, please, anyone who might hear me, send me a sign. And in that moment, as the sun came out of the sky, my daughter stopped crying. She looked me right in my eyes, as if she were saying, I'm your sign. And the little spark was lit, a little ember relit. And there I was, standing in line at the Salvation Army, baby in tow. How many people know Charlie Brown? Mm-hmm. You know the parents that go, wah, 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 wah? Mm-hmm. There I am standing in line, baby, frozen, can barely move, thinking, is this my life? And I'm frozen in fear of the unknown and fear of that restraining order being just about as strong as the paper it's written on. And I can't think. And the social worker is saying, wah, 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 wah. And all I could hear is, you can do this one day at a time. And in my mind, I'm thinking, a day? Now, I can go right on back to where I went because I know how to navigate that. I do not know how to navigate the unknown. And you remember those cafeteria clocks? The ones with the dials and the numbers? I saw it right on the wall as I'm standing there, and these fluorescent lights are down on me, and I'm looking at that, and I'm thinking, there's this tick, 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 and I can see it. And in that ticking, I think it was on a 5, and I thought, you know what? I can't get through a day, but I could get through maybe the next 5 minutes. What if I get through to that 6? Take a deep breath, focus. And as I thought about that, I thought 5 minutes, I can do that. In 5 minutes, I step forward in that line. Focus, step, breathe, focus, step, breathe. 5 minutes. 5 minutes soon turned into 10. Soon turned into 15, 20. Soon I got through a whole half day. And using the specific methodology, breathe, focus, and taking fierce action, I got through a whole year. I got into low-income housing. I got myself onto food stamps. I put my buns in college. I got a full-time job. I raised my little sister and my daughter while working at least 50 hours a week and going to school full-time. I stepped up out of low-income housing, moved on to what they call subsidized housing, and kept going. My master's. Kept going. And with this methodology, I realized that I didn't know it was a method when I did it. But looking back, I realized what I was doing. I was creating new neural pathways for myself, 5 minutes at a time. I realized that through goal setting and through taking a deep breath, incremental pushes, not looking and realizing that my storms were something that would deplete me, but something that would create a foundation to revive me, 5 minutes at a time. And what I want to do today with you is give you the opportunity to practice something that thousands of women have practiced thus far, for you to be able to see your light, for you today to be able to step into your ferocity. Want to try? All right. Here's the steps. First, go ahead, put your feet on the ground. Get level set. And just go ahead and take a deep breath. Breathe in all the way into your belly and all the way out. Breathe in the vitality of this room. Breathe in Alma and release all that from before you got right here. Everything that does not serve you, let it go. Take in another deep breath and let it out. That's the first step. Breathe. What's interesting is when we take a moment to pause, it gives us that strength to just figure out, where are we? Pause. The second step is F for focus. As we seek out into the future, be it a month, a year, 10 years, 20 years, perhaps even 100. Think about that 100-year vision. Now, some of you are thinking, what is she talking about? I'm not going to be around. But in some cultures, you don't move on until the last person speaks your name. So what is your 100-year goal? Ooh, Try that one on for size. So when you focus and you think where you're headed intentionally, that's F for focus. And the third step is fierce action. Now, we're human. We are emotional beings, and so beautiful we are. And we have emotions all day long. Now, when you're in that space where that emotion's popping up, and for me, I feel it right in my gut. When I'm scared, when I'm overwhelmed, when I have to go and I have to meet somebody. Now, I'm an introverted extrovert. I made that up. No, I didn't. It's actually a thing. But when I have to move into an uncomfortable space, that feeling that pops up, harness it. Harness it, because what you can do is you can guide it. You can take whatever that emotion is and you can use it as fuel to guide you in a direction that serves you versus self-sabotage. And why? Because I know what self-sabotage is. I already done that. It's been done. So choose something that works for you. Use that emotion in which to choose it and do it 5 minutes at a time. That is what I call fierce action. BFF, your new best friend in you. Now, using this methodology, now storms do not end. They keep coming. And my storms did not end, and they won't. Now, I went on. I continued. I got remarried. I had 2 beautiful boys. One's right in the back. Don't everybody look at the same time. And after 14 years of marriage, the rug's pulled up out underneath me in divorce. Now, when you create a new dream, and the dream of growing old with somebody, and all those things, and then bam, it's gone in an instant. You better believe you got to pick yourself up off the ground again. And in that low point, what am I to do? I went to breathe, take focus, and fierce action. And I repurposed what I already knew, because we have it in us. We already have it. It's realizing what we already have the tools. It's not necessarily learning something new. It's remembering something true in order to continue to use my roots in a new foundation. I had to learn how to choose equanimity. I had to learn to hold my tongue as my husband brought in new partners, brought people to holidays, brought in a new life, and moved on. You better believe I'm using this tool. And fast forward, we chose to hold the tongue. I chose to breathe through, and we celebrate holidays together. We redefined what we decided family to be. Intentionally. Was it easy? Oh, no. But I had to create new neural pathways in order to define what it was that is my life. And as we do that, we're able then to create an even stronger light, an even stronger foundation. And so with that, I want to bring you through this for you, because here at the Luminary Conference, as we seek our light, we see it within each other as well. So what I want you to do is to take a moment. What I'd love to invite you to do is to grab a pen, grab a paper, and let's try something. Let's try something different. I'm going to walk you through this exercise as to how this works. I want to invite you to take a pause. What I want you to do is to take a moment, and I'm inviting you to think about those storms in your life, either personally or professionally. I want to think about a storm that you've experienced. A storm that you can reflect, that at the time, that was rough. And then write it down. I want you to think about, what was that storm? What was it, either personally or professionally? Now, it could have been last week, at that stop sign that person didn't stop at. Could have been 2 months ago. Could have been a year ago. Could have been 5 years ago. What is one? Now, we have many. Think of one storm. Take an opportunity for yourself to write down that storm, maybe in a word, maybe in a picture, maybe in a drawing. Once you have it in your mind, give me a little nod. One storm. Good. Now, I want to invite you. Go forward a little bit in my slides. Reflect on that storm. A time that you face that's seemingly insurmountable, and how that storm might have helped you grow deeper roots. Strengths you discovered. Maybe what superpowers emerged now that you're looking back on it. What might have emerged? And write that down. Just take a moment for yourself. Now, for me, when I'm in some of these storms, I remember I learned, in order to emerge from this, I had to borrow the light that another person saw in me until my light ignited. Now, sometimes we're dim and it's hard to see. And sometimes you might have somebody be like, "Oh, you are so awesome." And you look at them like, "Thank you." But on the inside, you're thinking, "What?" We know what I'm talking about some days, right? Because sometimes we have to borrow that and accept it until our light ignites. Now, as you're thinking about this storm, why don't you think about what strengths that you discovered? Maybe it was resilience, the ability to get back up again. Maybe it's strategy. For me, going from the bus stop to the bus stop to the food pantry to the daycare and back without dropping food, missing the bus. Oh yeah, and by the way, I also had my backpack from school in the diaper bag. If you can figure that out and not miss a stop, what is that called? Strategy. thinking about what are those strengths that came out. Maybe you hold space for other people. What are those things? Now, what I want you to do, we took a deep breath. Bring to mind that storm that you've weathered. What happened? What strengths emerged? And then choose one, strength or insight, and write it down. What is that one single sentence that's your spark and your beacon? Go ahead and write it down. Now, people might be thinking, what is she doing? Why is she making us write this down? Now, mind you, my background in positive psychology and appreciative inquiry. What am I doing? I have you writing down with a pen. There's science behind why we do that. We're talking about something that means something to you. We're writing it down. And then you're going to see the magic in a moment. All right. So, nods. Does everybody have somewhat of a sentence, an idea? Somewhat? If not, you're going to get it right quick. Good. I want to invite you to stand as you're able, please. Beautiful. Take a nice cleansing breath. And with your pen and your paper, without words, what I want to empower you to do is to do something fierce. What I want you to do is to move yourself, your human body. I want you to move to another human and stand right next to them. Just one other person that you don't know as well. And what we're going to do before we move, I want to give you clear instructions. We're going to take about 30 seconds to do that. Okay, take another deep breath because I know this emotion that's coming up right now. Mm-hmm. Okay, you're going to step into your power because I know our mind gets in the way of our heart. Take a deep breath and think. You don't have to think too hard. I'm going to take about 30 seconds, and I am inviting you and empowering you to choose to stand next to a person you do not know. That might mean you have to move across the room with your legs. Okay? And now, always, every time this happens, every time I do this, somebody runs to the bathroom because I see you. And here's what we're doing. We are practicing this methodology, okay? You are brave. You are powerful. I have faith in you. Now move your body confidently next to someone you do not know, and then stop. And then look right here, okay? I'll give you the next instruction. All right. Right here? Okay. Everybody right here? Look right here. Let's try this. Look right here. Right here. Look. Do a little twinkle fingers. We can do twinkle fingers as you're able. Twinkle fingers right here. All right. Do we have pairs? 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 Three. There we go. Now we have pairs. Pairs? All right. Pairs? Lovely. Now the next step. Now what I want you to do is again take another deep breath. Good. And what I want you to do is invite into the space to be able to hold space for another woman. Oh, so powerful. And have the opportunity to share. What is that one sentence? What is that thing? What is it? That one strength or insight that emerged for you. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to say, hey, what emerged for you? Hey, I'm Carolyn. Nice to meet you. Now, what emerged for you? And then allow that woman to provide that. And you can hold space for her. What we won't do is like, oh yeah, me too. And by the way, because I know this happens when we get nervous. Yeah, I know. We can nod, we can smile. We can also pay attention to what we appreciate about what they're sharing. And capture that, please. Capture what you appreciate about what they're sharing. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes each, okay? So then let that one woman share. You take in that appreciation, and then you switch. And then we pause. Look for the twinkle fingers, okay? All right. Go right ahead. I was thinking, because I wanted to try and have women share.
Sure.
Is that all right?
Yeah, absolutely, okay. Not a problem.
So then maybe I'll switch to that for now, and then I'll go back to this later.
So I have another handheld too, so
wonderful.
You're trying to have somebody like
run the mic. Yeah.
I would honestly switch to this if you want to now, because for some reason like this is just
okay. I can do that
because you're soft spoken, but that picks up a lot, so that would just help narrow up a little bit, so I'm not catching everything else.
Perfect.
And then I'll have another handheld for whoever.
Someone. Well, okay. Yep. Perfect. Thank you. If you have not switched, please switch. Okay, twinkle fingers, twinkle, 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 twinkle fingers. Let's see the twinkle. Beautiful. Yes. Look at all the lights. It's like little flames, see? Yes. Beautiful. Thank you. Now, one more piece. What I want to invite you to do is to take your new friend and from the arm and move to another so that you have 4. Okay? And pause. Twinkles. Wait. There's second part. Now what I would love for you to do is to share one sentence of what you appreciate with your new friends. So you come up and you're like, hey, this is my friend, and what I really appreciate about her is, as you introduce her to your 2 new friends. And I'm going to give you about 4 minutes, so you got to keep it tight, right? About a minute each, okay? So take your friend, move. What do you appreciate? About 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Okay. Show me the twinkle. Yes. Twinkle, twinkle. Yes. Oh, yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes. All right. Now, I'm so proud of you. I am so proud. We're doing hard things before 10 a.m. on a Friday, nonetheless. Way to go. Power. Now, I would love to invite you to share. How you feeling? Good. Feel the vibration in the air? Yes. Feel that light? Yes. And what did we just do? We just took pause. We just reflected on something that's meaningful. We challenged ourselves. And then we declared it. We shared it. What is that? You just walked through one of the facilitation methodologies
that is used to solve very hard problems in very large organizations, including the UN. How do we get out of head into heart, have conversations that are meaningful, that bring all of us together? You can take this methodology back to your home. You can take this methodology back to your workplace and try something slightly different. The world is different. We need different. And women are going to lead the way. I'd love someone or several to share what's one thing you can appreciate about what you just experienced, or perhaps someone you just met. We have a mic. Who would love to share? I got some high heels on today.
Hi, I'm Jackie. I would love to share that Deb's resilience in the face of just someone coming up in her face, being not kind, letting them own that is a whole nother level of resilience and self-care. And I really admire that.
Here.
I think it's pretty amazing how through that exercise you can connect so deeply with someone in a matter of seconds and be vulnerable. And I think that's some of the power that women have. Is it's easier, I think, in times like this to be more vulnerable because we know that it's going to help us to, as a community, to give more light. Thank you.
Good morning. My experience was taking something hard, taking a storm, and sharing that vulnerability, but not getting stuck there. It's like flipping it. Like, what were the strengths? But how did I grow? What were the roots from that, and the positive birth or outcome? So I didn't feel stuck. It's healing. Ooh, yeah.
Yes. Hello, my name is Gracie. I think something that I find beautiful about the exercise we just did is we created a space where everyone felt cherished, valued, and seen and heard, especially with our partners and getting to know people. And I think that's beautiful that we came together as women, but also leaders as a community and created this gorgeous space through what you just taught us. And thank you.
And I just have to say that her hair things are butterflies. Gracie got the memo. Who else?
Beautiful. Thank you for participating. You can move back to your seats. Thank you. Thank you. And as you can see here in this room, that shift of what we might have thought our storms would break us, they actually deepened our roots and reveals our inner light. And we just had the opportunity to elevate the light of another woman. And now we can take this back throughout the day, or should I say forward throughout the day, and to our community and continue to share that light. Keep this energy throughout the day today. Now, with this methodology, the first step, resetting, practicing BFF, your new best friend in you, 5 minutes at a time, growing in community. And the second thing, to add to that, when you're ready to move into the next thing, for me, I needed to be in a community of women
I needed to be able to move and be seen for who I was choosing to intentionally be, compared to, now, you know, those people from grade school. You see them and they're like, oh, I knew you. Moving forward, to be in a room of women who see you for who you're choosing to be, not who you were. And it doesn't matter if it was just 5 minutes ago. Maybe you said something, did something. Oh, great. I totally shouldn't have made that signal at that person that was going slow and I passed them. But that was 5 minutes ago, okay? Let's move in. Move into who you're choosing to intentionally be. And be around women that see you in that space and they're cheering you on for where you're headed to. And for me, I got into a mastermind. I was able to get into a mastermind and I was able to do exactly what Monique does and be able to grow. Because sometimes when you're moving forward and you're choosing who you want to be, the people around you don't really see that. You need to get in a new room. Sometimes you have to create your own room. Because I don't get invited to a whole lot of tables, but I make my own. And so, being for me in a mastermind, that helped me. That helped me go from, ooh, I have an idea, to maybe I could publish a book, to doing it in less than 6 months. Ooh, perhaps I could be a speaker, to becoming an international speaker in less than a year. Ooh, how can I get on a platform, one of the biggest ones, in order to be able to provide healing and methodology in order to shift women at a global impact? I might dream to be at the UN and speak at the UN even. Now I spoke that out loud in a methodology just like this. And in some circles, you might have some chuckles. How's she going to do that? And in some circles, when you're in the right ones, they're like, yes, how can I help you? Now that was a 10 to 15 year goal that I declared I was going to speak at the UN. Happened in 3. Masterminds are powerful. Get around a group of women that see you who you're choosing to be. Practice, breathe, focus, fierce action in order to move you incrementally on that vision to where you deserve to be. And maybe you don't believe you deserved it. Get around other women who believe you do. Borrow that and go. So through every storm, remember, we discover the light within. We see it in with each other. And the light that is given to us in order to pop right back up. Thank you. Thank you for being here for you. Thank you for being here for others that you might not realize you're the light for. And thank you, the women in this room, us, we, all of us. We have the opportunity and the power to shine our light in which to heal and shift humanity. We need you. Thank you.